So your back hurts. Same. What with sitting for long hours, whether that's me doing marketing or editing YouTube videos, doing dancing, doing heavy weightlifting, being stressed, all of that leading to a lot of pressure, tension and strain on my back, there are definitely times where I am in agony when it comes to my back. So I've got to do a bunch of things, and I have a bunch of tools which I use to help to maintain a healthier back for myself. In this video, I'm going to run through the tools and the services that I use to help maintain a healthier back as a dancer, as an entrepreneur, so I can live a bit more pain-free. And of course, I'll put any links to any products down in the description below, so if you want to use those links, I do get a little bit of commission from doing so, but I just want to point out that these are all tools I have in my house and that I use on a regular basis. So let's get into it, first with tools. I'm going to start off with what I'm currently sitting on, which is my massage chair. Now this is actually really helpful when I'm just editing and I'm doing stuff. Let's say I've been dancing the evening before. I come in ready to start work, so I'm editing, I'm doing my marketing. I actually put this on the seat that I'm sitting at. I sit back into it and I will do work whilst it is getting to work. And it just helps to just relieve and reset my back just that little bit. I'll show you how it works. Different massage chairs have different functions. This one in particular is from Homedics. It's got a little remote. I'll just bring you a bit closer. It's got a little remote like this. You've got the on button here. And I tend to, with this section, just start with the rolling, and what this does, as you can see here, is it has this light and it just rolls up the back and then inside the back. You can also make the little modules come a bit closer together. So if you watch, they're a bit closer, a bit further away, a bit closer, for example. So this will just go up and down the back. And then when I want something a bit deeper, I will do this function where it does this motion here, in and out, in and out, in and out. And if I want to hit a particular spot, I will press, for example, this down button, move it to where I want it. So let's say I want it there, and leave it, and it will just circulate in that movement. And I will move my back along this to help to do the massage. There's also a heat function. So if I press that one, they go red, so they start heating up. Now, in terms of time, this tends to do 10 minutes at a time. And for me, I will use it maybe 20, 30 minutes, something like that. But obviously, like when I'm editing, I'll just kind of keep it on until my back feels a little bit better. So in terms of time, it's really up to you how long you want to use it for, and how bad my back is, because it does do the whole back. Disadvantage of this is that if there's certain sections, let's say in like a specific spot in your neck or a specific spot on your side, for example, that it doesn't reach, then it won't be effective in sort of reaching that area. So whilst it is good for a general sort of back rub massage, it doesn't get into like deep spots, like let's say a person would. So the chairs are generally on Amazon from like 50 quid all the way to like £2,000 for like those big chairs which just encompass all of you and like make your body do crazy things. This one in particular is £175. Because it's Black Friday and Christmas sales, Boxing Day sales, that sort of stuff, you could probably find it quite cheap. I'll put the link to this particular one in the description below. So this is the most expensive tool I own. We're going to move on to something much cheaper, and that is this, which is a Sanctuary Spa De-Stress Warming Body Balm. I guess it works similar to something like Deep Heat, but I'm quite allergic to Deep Heat, so I can't use Deep Heat. However, I don't seem to have any allergy to this one. Always test this sort of stuff, because I remember when I first found out I was allergic to Deep Heat, I put it like all over my legs and stuff, and I just ended up breaking out into a massive rash. So always test these first on a piece of skin, because they do have like irritants in it, which causes the warming effect. This works quite nicely on me, and again, especially in the winter when it's a little bit cold and my muscles are feeling very cranky, this I'll just put a little bit on, and it helps like soothe, heat, promote like softening of the muscles, and it feels really good on my body. Is it a fix-all? No, it's more just like a plaster, but it does feel good in the moment. So this I do like. This one in particular is on Amazon at the moment for £12.50, so I'll pop the link for that as well. Next up, we have this little spiky ball. I think I think you're supposed to meant to use it for your feet actually, I'm not sure, but I tend to use it for my back sometimes. Again, if I'm sitting down doing editing and stuff, I'll just sort of put it in a specific place. So where the chair might not get certain bits, I could put this in a very specific place on my back and just sort of like move my back against the chair a little bit so that it can just get in a little bit deeper into those points that are causing me a little bit more pain. So this is good. It does, going back to this one like works in literally like 2 minutes. So you put it on and in 2 minutes it starts warming and heating effect. And then after a little while it will after a little while it will fade away. Obviously when you wash it off it will fade away. So that one's about 2 minutes to work. This one is very small, so you can't do large areas like you can with the chair, but if there's very specific pinpoint areas that you want to get, this is also very good for that. These are quite cheap online, so if you're tight for budget but you just want something to help, this is £5. Very easy, very cheap to use. And finally on the tool section we have the massage gun, which I am obsessed with. This I think is amazing. So you get, this one's from REFERRAL. So you have like the main part here, and then you've got various attachments that you can use. I tend to use this one. Essentially you pop it in like so. There's a button here and you've got various different levels. So this will be level 1, and then as you can see the light tells you what level you're on, 2, 3, and it's just, that's basically what it does. It just sort of hits the area that you are trying to get quite good. This is really good because you can really get in deep. The only thing that's annoying is that like if you're trying to get to your own back, is you've got to be quite flexible to be able to reach certain areas, which is why the massage chair is good in that respect. But this, then you can sort of get a bit deeper into like the back areas that you want to get into, use different attachments to get further. I've seen versions of these that are heated, so you can have a heated head as well. This one is not heated, but it's still really effective. This one in particular is £109 online. Again, with Black Friday and Christmas and Boxing Day, you'd probably be able to get these cheaper. I have seen cheaper ones as well. I just don't know how good the cheaper ones would be, if that makes sense. So there's more expensive ones, there's cheaper ones. This one, I can say you don't need to go more expensive than this. This is pretty good. Those are all the tools. The next things I want to talk about are services, professional services in particular. One of the ones that is lower cost but still very useful for my back is doing hot yoga. So whilst yoga and stretching is of course very good and very good to do at home or to do in a class, I found that hot yoga kind of offers something a little bit extra with the element of being warm and your muscles being warm, to be able to stretch and ply your muscles into positions that perhaps they don't normally go into. And of course with an instructor it still becomes a very safe activity to do. So the one that I always recommend is Hot Pot Yoga. It's a franchise, so there's quite a few around the UK. I know there's one in central Norwich, but there's also lots in other cities in the UK. For a single class pass, it tends to be £14, but the more that you buy in bulk, the cheaper it gets. I think it can get as cheap as £11 a class, which for an hour's class is actually really good. And sometimes they'll do intra offers, so you can have like 2 weeks unlimited classes for an X amount of price. On top of that, I've got a little discount code. So if you want to get a free class, if it's your first time, you want to get a free class, you can use this discount code here. You get a free class and I get a £5 off a session, basically. And then once you sign up, you can have your own discount code and you can do the same for all your friends as well. Moving on from that, we're taking a bit of a step up, and that's going for a massage, particularly a sports massage with a qualified professional. With these, I find these tend to be really useful in just resetting my back, resetting my muscles, getting a lot of the knots out, getting a lot of the tension out. However, these can be a bit more expensive. Typically for like a 1 hour session, you're looking at 60 quid, 70 quid an hour. In an ideal world, I'd be getting like 2 massages a week, but I can't afford that, so I tend to just get one every 2 months or once a month. But I do find that it does help the back a lot to help to reset it. Again, it kind of feels it's a bit more of a plaster rather than fixing the problem, but it is still good. Then to start sort of fixing the root problem, I also see a chiropractor once a month. It's not so much that like mechanical chiropractor where they like, force your bones and muscles into a different position. It's more they use like a little gun, they do some exercises, some certain stretches, push some certain pressure points to just reset the spine and reset the back and make sure that everything's moving as it should be moving. And I find that these are very useful. When my back used to be so bad, maybe 3 or so years ago, now they are in a much better place. So going to a chiropractor has been actually really useful. And on that, I think the next stage for me is probably to look into physiotherapy. I had an interview chat with a physiotherapist in Norwich. The video for it will pop up over here at the end of this video. But I had a chat with her and we were talking through different preventative methods for, looking after your back, different things that you can do to look after your back. And things like, Pilates came up, hyperpressors came up, but also like physiotherapy just in general as a holistic practice came up as well. And the more I heard about it, the more I was like, actually, this would probably be really useful in terms of getting my back into a good place, just in general, and really finding the root cause of my back pain and sort of moving on from there. So whilst having all of these tools at home is really useful at home as like a plaster, I think for me the next stage is probably to see a little bit deeper what the problems are and what is causing the main issues that I'm finding in my back. And I do think like the chiropractor, as I said, helps so much, and I think the next stage for me is to probably look into physiotherapy as well and to see how that can help. If you're interested in that conversation and you want to have a better understanding about physiotherapy, and particularly when it comes to your body and looking after it for those that are fitter, go to the gym, do dance, you can check out the video over here. I'll see you over there.